Well, it would appear that the coronavirus is man-made. Whether or not it was a bio-experiment gone wrong or a vaccine experiment that got out into the general public has yet to be determined. But unfortunately, at this point, it doesn't really matter. Basically, the best thing I can compare it to is breeding rabbits. And if you allow the rabbit population to breed unchecked, eventually they overrun everything. And along the way, consume all of the resources available. And the same type of thing could potentially happen with this virus. So many people become sick in a certain area that all the resources are exhausted, and the illness moves on to another area and does the same thing, and so forth and so on. The global economy relies on transportation. And if this virus spreads throughout the world, it's going to kill the global economy because no goods are going to be transported, because people are afraid of being out in the public and getting sick, and so forth and so on. So don't kid yourself. There is cause for real concern here. What precautions can you take? Number one, stock up on food and water. Number two, get something to protect your food and water. Number three, and I don't know if it's really going to make that much difference at this point, get some way to filter your air, or don't go out in public situations if you can help it. The first two you can do now, but the last one is only really applicable if the virus comes to your area or your state. In that case, you have to be aware of public spaces, because sick people are going to be touching the same surfaces that you are. That means credit card readers, money, counters, door handles, etc., etc. I've mentioned this before in a previous video, but it bears repeating. You may have to make some hard choices where you have to turn your back on someone you think might be sick for the greater good of your own people and your own situation. It's a shitty thing to have to do, but one way or another, if this virus gets out of control, those are the choices you're going to have to make. So what places will be most at risk? Major population centers, major cities, coastal cities, places that are highly attractive to tourists. So should you be planning a trip to some popular tourist destination in the near future, I'd consider canceling it. Because as far as the possibility to pick up this particular virus increases exponentially, the more hands that are in the area, the higher the risk of picking up this virus. The more people walking around even, or touching whatever, or breathing in confined spaces, the higher the risk. And if it does turn into a pandemic and the global economy and individual economies start breaking down, you're going to see the worst of your fellow human beings, because that's just the way it's going to go. You've already witnessed what some people are like nowadays. Throw in a little desperation and fear for their lives on top of it, There ain't no telling how bad it could get. The best comparison I could make it to on the worst case scenario would be Zombieland. Except the zombies are starving, desperate people who have made the determination and will be dedicated to their own survival, and they won't be too concerned about yours. So the best thing you can do for yourself and those around you is take some precautions and hope and pray that you never have to use them. Hope and pray that you don't have to make the hard choices that day-to-day survival is all about. Because Zombieland might be a cool place to visit on the big screen, but I'll guarantee you, you don't want to live there.